illusion of objective reality of the universe. Hello dear friends. Today is the 8th of August 2020. Let's talk about one of the topics that requires deep awareness. The duality of our three-dimensional world manifests itself in various ways. These are love and fear, good and evil, knowledge and ignorance, and so on. But it seems to me that the most important, fundamental, underlying all other reasons for the dual polarity of our life on Earth is the lack of understanding of the fact of our unity with the Creator. The separation of the divine and physical principles of our essence. Any religion's teachings, beliefs that support the idea of separation are vicious. If they have little love, a lot of imposed fears, then rest assured that they serve the idea of separation. The ideas of separation with the Creator lower the vibrations of our energy system, weaken our energy, slow down spiritual growth, and have a detrimental effect on health. For hundreds and thousands of years, the ideas of separation have continued to be introduced into the multidimensional collective consciousness of humanity by negative forces that have their negative energies in the subtle and spiritual worlds in order to carry out energy parasitism and control over humanity. The divide and conquer principle is true down to the lower fourth density subplanes. In the planes from fifth density and higher, the principles of duality are practically absent. Since on these planes oneness with the Creator is fully realized, friends, now we live in a time of change, and we see that one spiritual truth after another is revealed to people. People are becoming more aware, and more people perceive the ideas of their unity with the Creator and with all that exists as fundamental. The theme of unity with the Creator is inextricably linked with such a concept as objective reality. The average person believes that he and objective reality exist on their own. A person simply somehow interacts with this reality with the help of his thoughts, actions, and deeds. And he thinks that all people are also contributing to the formation of a certain uniform and common for all averaged objective reality. He will say that this reality existed before his birth and will continue to exist after his death. His beliefs are based on the stories of close people, the presence of various ancient things in life and historical facts about the past. For example, in the photographs of relatives who have long left this world. Such a person will not believe if he is told that his ideas about objective reality and about himself exist only in his personal human consciousness, only in his head. There are many different destructive factors that bind human consciousness to our third density space and keep it separate from spiritual energies and the spiritual component of the consciousness of an individual. These are the desire for power, enrichment, gambling, bad habits such as the use of drugs or alcohol, and attachments to the egoistic needs of the physical body. The desire to control and manipulate people and others. These destructive attachments are, in essence, blockages of the spiritual component of the thought process of the human person with a level of consciousness corresponding to the third density. It should be noted that now, in times of change and the transition of our consciousness into the fifth dimension, destructive attachments for many people are gradually disappearing. People begin to wake up from third density sleep and learn to perceive themselves as creators of their reality. The percentage of awakened people in our world is steadily increasing. The spiritual component in people's thought processes is growing. In the very near future, it is spiritually oriented people who will determine the collective consciousness of all mankind and the nature of the new objective reality of the fourth and fifth energy densities. Friends, in principle, there is no objective reality at all. Man is tied to third density, objective reality through his mind, senses and body perceptions. In their absence, all this reality ceases to exist. Examples of this: a person in a coma or in a state of deep sleep, a newborn child. It is also possible to go beyond objective reality during deep meditation. Now I will try to convince everyone that the so-called objective reality, as well as the perception of yourself as a physical body, is a product of your mind. Information enters our brain and energy centers chakras through our senses: sight, hearing, smell, taste buds, touch. Also, information from all internal receptors of the body and from the etheric subtle material plane enters through the nervous system to the brain and the chakra system. On the etheric plane, the controlling energy comes from the higher planes. This energy transmits information about the world around us into our system of perception in accordance with the vibrational characteristics of the human soul. Information is selected by our highest aspect from the space of variance of the so-called objective reality. In the same way, information about the program of a particular person's life from the plans of his soul comes into our energy system. The life program is drawn up on the basis of karmic data obtained when a person passes along the dominant line of life. As the individual's personal consciousness develops, his program will increase the possibilities of choice and decision-making. Life programs for conscious personalities of the 5th and 4th levels of consciousness are flexible and multifaceted. For third-density souls, they are correspondingly more rigid, with fewer opportunities for free choice from the illusory space of options. The brain and chakras are the centers of information transmission and reception. This information is processed and written into memory at energy densities from the 3rd to the 9th levels. That is, on the physical, subtle and spiritual planes. The control center of man as a person is in 9th density. This center receives information from the planet Earth itself, including all living beings. Then the processed information is routed to all subordinate plans. Each receiver accepts only information intended only for him, on the basis of which he perceives himself in his version of objective reality. It can be said that objective reality, which includes a person's perception of himself as a person, exists in the space of variance of illusory reality. Since the initial parameters are different for all people, the perception of oneself, the world around, as well as eventfulness and thought processes for all people will be different. No, for example, two people who see the world around them are the same. This is influenced by both the peculiarities of vision and the system of visual images in our memory. We often see what we want to see, what we have already encountered in our experience. One person hears every instrument in orchestral music and the other hardly recognizes only the melody. And so with other systems of perception of the physical body of a person. One person has all the chakras open and balanced, while the other person lives only by the needs of the body on the open lower charts and blocked upper ones. Each multidimensional human personality exists in virtual reality with a certain number of its copies which have certain differences both in terms of parameters and in terms of events. Living life along the dominant line of life, we choose one or another of our modified copies and event series in the corresponding version of objective reality. Our choice is determined by personal energy potential and vibrational characteristics. The level of free will in this choice depends on the level of development of the individual. The worldview of a person, attitudes, his awareness, the system of knowledge that are associated with social contacts are very important. Our parents, teachers, friends, co-workers, other people help us achieve a certain level of personal consciousness. The human personality is a body, soul, spirit, consuming the energy of time, passes from one energy state to another. We feel this transition as a passage of time, as a movement along the line of life. By our actions, thoughts, deeds, the state of the energy system. We determine the direction of movement of the focus of our personal consciousness in the virtual space of variance of states of objective reality. That is, making a choice of the direction of movement in virtual space, we move along our timeline of life. This is how frames change on the screen of our life. If we develop in the light of love and awareness, then the increase in our spiritual energy potential will determine the focus of our personal consciousness on high vibrational versions of ourselves in objective reality. At the same time, I would like to note that while being in the consciousness of the third dimension, movement along the timeline of life for us occurs unconsciously. The decision is made at our higher spiritual levels, with which we have no energetic connection. But as the person grows spiritually, he gains certain spiritual energies, and the personal consciousness of the ego establishes an energetic connection with the consciousness of the soul. A person makes a conscious choice in this virtual reality. Clairvoyance develops. A person begins to live in non-linear time, and these properties is inherent in the consciousness of the fourth dimension and above. Friends, we perceive our world as real, but it is virtual reality, which has a source of pure consciousness of being in the Absolute. The pure consciousness of the Absolute interpreting and realizing our virtual reality is the true reality of being in our endless existence as a creator. Our true reality as a creator extends even beyond the limits of being and merges with the spiritualizing light of the Creator's love, emanating from the central spiritual sun and making possible the existence of the unmanifest real worlds of the Absolute and the illusory realities of the manifested world. Friends, we came to this world of third density in order to gain experience of existence in duality, separation, so that through all conceivable and inconceivable obstacles we come to understand ourselves as creators of reality, to comprehend the idea of the unity of all things. Our manifested illusory world represents a single whole with the real unmanifest worlds of the Absolute. These worlds are interdependent, interpenetrating, and cannot be separated from one another. Also, their existence is possible only in the rays of the spiritualizing light of the Creator's love, our highest reality. Friends, our existence in the world in the illusory reality of the third dimension of consciousness is coming to an end. Our further path is a path under the banner of the ideas of our Trinity. This is the path of love and awareness. Until next time, dear friends, Yuri was with you.